call the primary member first. If that person is not here, then I will call the alternate's name. Okay? All right, Gail Billick. Janice Mundy.
She's right there.
She's not raising her hands if you're here.
She's outside. Can someone get Janice in here, please?
Okay, Sandra Mathias.
Here.
Richard Zamora.
Here.
Cheryl Conway.
Here.
Lori Padilla.
Here.
Tom Holt.
Here.
Laura Storm. James Conway.
Here.
Allison Rose.
Yeah, why are you here? Yeah, here.
Susan Devine.
Here. Why are you?
Pat Harris. Deborah States.
Can we slow down, please, Mary?
Donna Stewart. Joe St. Clair.
Here.
Ilona Shazbinia.
Here. I'm sorry, I can't hear.
Michelle Schwarzman.
Here.
Donna Kendall.
Here.
Cody King.
Here.
Kenzie Crin.
Here.
David Moran. Christine Shea.
Here.
Corey Black. Tim Strobel.
Here.
Eric Michelson. Maine Whitmore Prince. Mark Simonin.
Here.
Mary Strobridge. Here. Nick Andre.
Here.
I want this meeting to be efficient, respectful, as short as it possibly can be, and to set the tone for the Democratic Party of this county moving forward. We've done some things to try to organize the agenda to work toward those goals. But one of the things that I observed to them, and the reason I'm standing with a microphone now, is that I'd like to make a request of everyone in attendance here. And that is regarding the individual recording of this meeting with your own mobile devices. It's been a matter of some contention in previous meetings. Some have seen it as a threatening act, some don't register it that way. But in an effort to really keep things on a calm level, we have a couple of folks set up with tripods who are going to be recording the entire proceeding. And we're going to be we'll make those recordings available in some way or another to anybody who would really like to see them. And so I'm here to make a request. And I'll emphasize that it is a request. Folks do have the right to make those recordings, but I'm going to request that you refrain from doing so. Partly not to be, so it's not viewed by anyone as a threatening behavior, but also because there's a lot of substantive material in the meeting here tonight, and I think it probably works better for us to be directing our attention directly at the substance of this meeting than viewing it through the viewfinder of a recording device. So with that, I thank you for your indulgence in my comments. I'll turn it over to the co-chairs for their opening remarks.
Thank you, Supervisor. Appreciate you being here. I'm just going to go over an email that was sent out today that Nick Andre sent out, but just in case somebody didn't get it or didn't have time to read it, we're going to go over it. And it was addressed to all of the Central Committee members. In the interest of ensuring a fair, even-handed, respectful, and orderly meeting, Susan Devine and Nick Andre will be co-chairing the meeting tonight. Please remember to speak only when you are recognized by the co-chairs, and speak one at a time. You won't be recognized to speak again on an issue until all of those who wish to speak have done so. We have a lot of business to conduct tonight, and we hope we would be respectful of each other's time, respectful of each speaker, and respectful of those who must rise early tomorrow for their work. We would like to conclude the business of the committee at this meeting without having any further action. In the interest of time, we are going to entertain a motion asking that items 6 through 11 be waived and get to the business of the evening. Also, please remember that you cannot cast a ballot for another person, no matter what their reason is. Each ballot will have the voter and the alternate's name printed on it. The votes will be cast on these prepared ballots, and they will be returned to the chair's table. Ballots will be opened in public and recorded by the secretary with help if necessary. 2 or 3 members chosen by the co-chairs will assist to confirm the tally and observe the procedures. I would also like to remind that we'll still be in order while that's happening, and I would ask that the membership stay a little bit back from the table so that, we can do that in a fair and equitable manner. Now, Nick is going to continue on.
Okay, so we came up with an agreement on the process for the chair's race tonight. So I just want to go over that quickly so everyone knows the procedures for how that's going to go. Each candidate is going to get 3 minutes for a speech, and who goes first is determined by a coin flip. The winner of the coin flip chooses if they go first or second. After each candidate speaks, they each are able to choose 4 members or alternates of this committee to speak on their behalf. It is my understanding that Rosemary and Donna will leave the room at this time, and then each speaker will be limited to 2 minutes. The speakers for each candidate are going to be alternated, and the candidate who made their speech first will have the first speaker. We're then voting by paper ballot. Each of the voting members' names will be called up, at which time they're handed a ballot. They'll need to fill out the ballot and return it immediately to the table up front. Alternates who are eligible to vote should obtain their ballot when their main member's name is called, not when the alternate's name is called. And then the ballots are going to be counted in full view of the membership, and the results will be announced in front of the membership at that time. Ballots will be preserved and available for review by the members at a later time. I really just thank everyone in advance for respecting the process, and we hope we have a successful and smooth meeting. Thank you.
Okay, so we are now on number 3 on the agenda, the adoption of the current meeting agenda. With the remarks that I made just a minute ago, I'll entertain a motion to waive items 6 through 11 on the agenda.
I'll be going to the way.
Thank you, Allison. Jim, second? Allison Grove made the motion, Jim Conway seconded it.
Okay, all those in favor of passing the current meeting agenda as amended, say aye. Aye. All those opposed, say no. Okay, the current meeting agenda has been adopted. Okay, now moving on to approval of the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Okay, so Mayor, did you make the changes that were requested prior to the meeting?
I gave it to you, and I will make those changes for this meeting, okay? And I will present them to our regional workshop.
Okay, so we are moving to approve the consent agenda with a few amendments that were sent in ahead of time by Mary. There are no objections from the executive board on that, is that correct? Okay, no objections over here. Okay. So we entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as amended.
Second.
Moved by Cheryl, seconded. Okay. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. Okay, the consent agenda has passed.
Okay, number 5 is an approval of the alternates to the Central Committee, and I would ask our Secretary, Mary Strobridge, to read the names of the proposed alternates, and then I would entertain a motion to accept same.
All right, first one is Tim Strobridge for Fort Lawn, Karen Bright for Miriam Shaw, Jim Holloway for Lois Storm, Charles Arney for Eric Baskin, Winkler Prince for Eric Michelson, Deborah Scarborough for Violet Kavanaugh, Barry Murray for David Baldwin, Linda Pax for Sherry Stoddard, and Valina Bagnall for Sandra Gordon.
May I have a motion on that item to approve the alternates?
I'll move the we approve.
Thank you, Michelle. Second?
No, I wanted to actually asking us why my alternate, Kathy Oliver, wasn't listed. Jim Conway was my alternate.
Wait, let's get a second to the motion, and then if you want to discuss it. Thank you. Alona Shakir. Oh, and you want to add one?
I sent an email and I asked a question about why Jim was no longer my alternate, and I never got a response. So now I would like to appoint a new alternate, yes.
Do you want to do that tonight, or you,
Well, I guess I need to, yeah.
you're here, I mean,
Well,
yeah.
since no one informed me prior to this meeting that this was happening,
What's the name of the,
I'll appoint Kathy.
say that
She's willing to, Kathy Oliver, she's willing to be my alternate, but
is she here?
Yes.
Oh.
thank you, Kathy.
Kathy Oliver, proposed alternate to add to the list.
Yes, she does.
K or C? Kathy?
Kathy Oliver. Hey.
Yeah, I sent it in an email, Mary.
We've had a lot of mail and things going on there. So,
So that's added to the list.
motion still on? Okay, there's a motion on the floor in a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried unanimously. Thank you.
Okay, so we are skipping items 6. Oh, we didn't already do this? Did we make a motion to? Yeah, so we already amended the agenda, so items 6 through 11 are no longer on here. Okay, so we move to item 12A, action, bylaws amendment. So there was a bylaws amendment presented at the previous meeting, and tonight we need to vote on whether or not to pass that proposed bylaw amendment per the process in our bylaws. So, do we want to open discussion first? Okay, so Cheryl is going to hand out the ballots for this specific item. We will then open into discussion on this item. So I'm going to hand the mic over to Cheryl.
If you don't mind, I would usual, I actually know you're getting about it. Janice Mundy from Dale Village.
Please hold the mic closer to your mouth.
We do need to.
Yeah, please come think about it. You want to, Bruce, you want to?
I'll hold them.
Just give me a
Okay, so Janice is right there, Bruce.
Yes. And she gets everything in this packet?
Everything in that.
Good. Okay.
Sandra Mathias,
Give me a word.
Richard Zamora.
Okay, great. Nice.
And a wife.
I've already done it.
Hey, Bruce, Cheryl Conway.
Hey, I'm a public servant. I get it.
Lori Cadell.
Hey. Thank you.
Tom Bull.
No. You double check that your name is actually on the ballot.
James Conway.
Conway, okay, that's great.
Allison Groves. Susan Devine. Deborah Space. Oh, this is getting too easy for me.
Yeah, we're in the group now.
Joe St. Clair.
Joseph St. Clair.
Sedona.
Right.
Michelle Shorter.
Where she is.
Donna Kendall. Cody King. Mackenzie Groom.
for Brent. Mark Simone. Mary Strobridge. Nick Andre. Charles Barney. Charles, you will need to write your name on the ballot since.
It's on.
Oh, it's another, okay. Quinn Brady. Rosemary Canfield. Violet Kavanaugh. Susan Robinson. Heidi Harmon. Brian Ivy. Stephen Lackey. Giacomo Lombardo. Erica Reyes. Linda Pax. Right here. Julie Zambranos. Ray Bell Gams. Tara Gray. Dave Akey. Cheryl Storton. Brian O'Byrne. Amy Campbell. Barbara Weishart.
I'm going to ask you to give me the next one.
Dave Humphrey?
We both call that.
Yeah, it's right behind you.
Got it. Sorry,
Joe Gibson.
But I gave it to him. I waited for his name.
Don Adams. John Ortiz Lake.
Don is up here.
Sandra Gore Nielsen. Larry Murray. Bruce Gibson.
Right.
Adam Hill. He's over there. Aaron Gomez. Eric Beal. Is Carla Christensen in the room? Dan Beauvoir. Eric Powell. Karen Campbell Bright. Walter Heath. Linda Baker.
Hang on. Karen, is your name on that one? Walter.
I'm here first.
You're Linda, right?
Yeah, thank you.
Linda Baker?
Yeah,
Okay.
not packed. I'll take that.
So I'm holding for John Scholes and Jeff Lee.
They're one of them here. Should they come in before one of the other votes? We'll just wonder, yeah.
Okay. Does everyone have a ballot that should have a ballot? If anyone doesn't, please raise your hand. And make sure that your name is present on the ballot that you are holding. If there is a discrepancy or a problem, please come up to the front. Okay. I am going to read what the bylaw amendment was and that was presented at the previous meeting, and then we will open up into discussion. So, our bylaws in Article 5, Section 1, state that the officers of the committee shall be the chair, 2 vice chairs, a recording secretary, a corresponding secretary, a treasurer, and a state executive board representative. These officers shall be elected by the committee at the meeting to elect officers as defined in Article 4, except for the executive board representative, who shall be elected at the same time as the DSCC representatives are elected. The chair of the committee shall be elected by vote of supervisorial district members only. The proposed amendment is to strike that last sentence and remove the words, "The chair of the committee shall be elected by vote of the supervisorial district members only." So that would remove that from the bylaws completely, that one sentence. And that is the extent of the change being proposed. So, is there anyone who would like to speak in favor or against this item? Please raise your hand. Okay, so that's 4.
We're striking.
Okay, so let's give Dave the floor.
We can be, this is,
We technically don't need a motion because this was, per the bylaws, this gets presented as a motion was made to present the bylaws at a previous meeting, which was done and was passed, right? And now we vote on it at the next meeting. So technically there doesn't have to be a motion. Is that correct? Everyone agree? Yes, that is correct. Okay. So Dave Akey wants to speak in favor. Does anyone else have a request to speak on this matter? Cheryl. Okay, so Cheryl and Dave. Anyone else? Someone's hands up. Christy. Okay, Christy, you are pro, I'm assuming? Or against?
I'm pro.
Correct. Okay. Anyone else? Okay, so let's hand it over to Dave.
Thank you. I'll keep this fairly quick and brief. I've studied the California Code, Common Election Codes for political party organizations and Central Committee elections. And there's a lot to say about what has to be done. For example, you must have elected assembly delegates. But there's nowhere in these laws does it say that you have to have a voted-in member to be responsible for only electing the chair. And I would like to remind you of some past history. We were sued some 8-9 years ago over this very fact of who could be on the Central Committee. The principal that involved the suit, and we had 3 lawyers who were with the Central Committee who spent hours defending us. We won that, and we won another suit that she had brought up as well. And in fact, the state party changed the rules to comply with this so that this wouldn't be a problem again. So I think that this bylaw is an acronym that has been there for some time, lost to the history of knowledge of why, probably that we don't need this at this time. Appreciate it if you vote to strike it. Thank you.
Sure.
Jeff, as Dave said, we do not know the history of that. A little bit of the history is that under the California Elections Code, essentially in our county, the only people required to be on the Central Committee are the people elected from the supervisorial districts. And that being said, that's why my understanding is that this was put into the bylaws years ago, but that technically most of the members could be removed with the bylaws change.
And Christy, you want to add your name?
Yeah.
Okay. Christy and then Lori.
We're gonna try.
I'll get it.
I'm loud.
I got it.
Thank you. I appreciate your comments about the statement from the court about having any bylaws that you want, as long as it results in fair and equitable elections. So since this was proposed according to the bylaws and is now presented according to the bylaws and is allowed under the election code because it is still resulting in fair elections, according to that case that you were talking about, I'd like to vote to strike it so that more people can vote.
Hi, I'm Lori Cudjoe, and I give this motion. I was elected, I've only been on the central committee a few years. I've been with the Elmore Plus for a long time. But I was elected in 2016 as a representative of District 2. And I appreciate all the people that got elected as Asia Delta. You know, that's really good. But like I said, only on the way it gets down, just for voting for the chair, and I don't have to do that once. That was last year. I think it's important. I mean, you guys got lots of votes. I got voted, 3,000 people voted for me through the Congress ballot. And I just think that, I think it's special to have the people actually elected by the community. And so I'm against this change.
I see one more hand up. So, Ara, did you want to speak in favor or against? In favor.
So we're all here and excited to participate and get more folks out and involved in the process. And if this final change doesn't pass, then 2/3 of the people who are community members in this room won't be able to vote or participate in this, which is one of the most important conditions on the community for leadership of the global partner.
Okay. So, seeing no more requests for discussion, everyone has their ballots. It is the white ballot. Be sure that your name is on it. You will be able to vote, yes, you want the change, or no, you don't want the change. Check your decision, and then sign your ballot. Please be sure to sign your ballot and underline who is signing the ballot. If you're the primary member or if you're the alternate member, make sure you circle or underline the name of the member and then sign your ballot.
Your ballot. And if anyone has entered the room that's a voting member or alternate, we still have their ballots up here. So if you see anybody come in before each of the 3 votes, we'll try to remember to ask if anyone's entered the room. So it's the white ballot. If you'll pass them to Supervisor Gibson, I think. Maybe Supervisor Hill could help.
If you need to pass them to the nearest stand and Adam will work outside. Are you voting them, Bruce?
Yes, he is.
Let's vote.
Thank you. Thank you.
Last call.
They got to count that ballot before we do it. Because otherwise, you get to pass.
Well, that was the
Does anyone else have a ballot? Okay. Can we have Richard Zamora and Allison Groves please come to the front to observe the ballot count?
No. No. Yes. No. Yes. No. Yes. No. Abstain. Yes. No. No. Yes. 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 No. No. Yes. 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 No. Yes. 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 No. Yes. No. No. Yes. No. No. Yes. 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 No. Yes. Yes. No. No. Yes. No. Yes. No. No. Yes. 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 And no.
I just call it an abstain. Is that correct? 34, 29.
Okay. The results are 34 yes, 21 no, and 1 abstain. The bylaw amendment passes.
Okay. Yeah, no. Okay, item B. B, yes. This is a discussion item with action of the chartering of the SLO Democratic Club. This is a continued item from a previous meeting. I would entertain a motion to charter the San Luis Obispo Democratic Club. Motion? Thank you. Jim Conway, and what second? Alona Kibnier. Any further discussion on this item? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you.
So that now charters a new club, which allows a new vote. And so, what's his name? Dave Humphreys. We're going to give him his ballot. Bring his 2 ballots. moving to item 12C, the officer's election. So at this time, we're going to ask Rosemary Canfield and Donna Candell to please come up to the front, and we will do a coin toss.
Do you guys have a problem?
Okay, so Donna has chosen heads. That means, hold on, Susan. Okay. Okay, so Donna is heads. Susan has chosen the coin. Is going to flip the coin out, and whatever it lands on is the winner who will be able to choose whether they go first or second. Okay, so let's flip. Okay, it is heads. So Donna, you get to choose if you go first or second. You go second. Okay.
First every time.
Okay, so I'm going to hand Rosemary Canfield the mic. Rosemary, you have 3 minutes from the moment you start speaking. No, once you start speaking.
Give me a second. That's not allowed to say.
Yeah. Okay, so when 3 minutes, as soon as Rosemary starts speaking.
Do you want one of us to turn up here? No. Okay. Do you want us to find an audience and they can see if we get interviews or something? Okay, all right. So you're just like, you're not giving us like 30 seconds or something? Yeah, I lost it. Oh, you lost it? Okay. Because we used to have like looking.
Okay, I'll probably let you know. Hi, I'm Rosemary, and I'll get started. So according to the Huffington Post, the National Democratic Party has suffered a consistent drop in favorable ratings that currently stand at about 38%. That's a rating lower than our federal administration right now. This trend has led to us losing elections, including in our very own district. If we continue on this current path, the outlook just isn't good. If we're about winning races, and we are. If we're about standing up for human rights, and we are. If we're about pursuing our mission, on the wall behind me there, and we are, then it's time to build our party from the grassroots up and move forward. I get that change is intimidating. It takes work, and it takes time. It can be uncomfortable. It can also be liberating and energizing. Every one of us in this room was gravely disappointed with the outcome of the election last year, whether our candidate was Hillary or Bernie. Every one of us in this room committed to driving the narrative in 2018 for Democratic success. And every one of us in this room can see that what has been in place is no longer working to achieve those goals. I've spent the last 6 months listening at our Central Committee, Executive Board, and club meetings throughout the county. I've heard the disappointments with policies and candidates that do not support the vision and mission of the Central Committee. I've heard disagreements for how to handle our challenges. I've heard the frustration with elected officials who are hamstrung by petty charges and political gain. It's incumbent upon us to set a fresh course towards constructive change, and I believe I'm the best candidate to lead this committee forward. We are the party that represents the needs and intentions of the people of San Luis Obispo County, from San Miguel to Napomo and all the communities in between. My focus is on our vision, which we agreed to in our strategic plan, and on our mission, which is in our bylaws. I'll continue to take proactive, collaborative steps towards improving not only the image, but also the efficacy of this organization by staying focused on our vision and pursuing our mission, and putting the following structures in place to further strengthen this committee. Develop a council of clubs where leaders of the various chartered and interested organizations in our community can share ideas. Establish our office as the hub of the Democratic Party and of campaigns. Continue outreach to clubs and organizations to recruit, train, and support Democratic candidates to fulfill our vision and mission. I believe in our vision. I believe in our mission. I'm one of the many new voices seeking to be heard, and because of that, I have the perspective necessary to engage new voters and to help our Democratic candidates win elections.
We can energize this party by engaging voters where they are, from the grassroots, not from the top down. We can energize the party by engaging the thousands of newly minted activists participating in the process for the first time. And we can energize this party by acknowledging and embracing the voters and their voices and turn this country blue. Happy blue.
Thank you. Thank you, Rosemary. Don?
Good evening. My name is Dawn Kendall. I'm a public high school math teacher. In my 6th year as president of the CMR Unified Teachers Association, I serve as a delegate to the California Teachers Association State Council and to the National Education Association Representative Assembly, which is the largest democratic deliberative body in the world. I have been a registered Democrat for 43 years, and I voted in every local, state, and national election since I was eligible to vote. And I've been an advocate for social justice since I was a teenager. I've lived in Tacoma for 31 years. I've raised my family here. My family is with me tonight, my 2 daughters in the Bay Area, and my husband, Herb. I love this community, and I'm proud to be standing here next to Rosemary, 2 strong women dedicated to social change. Integrity is the underlying value I hold in my personal life, my politics, and my work. I tell my students that at the end of our lives, our integrity is the only thing we have to take with us. I'm honest, even blunt, and you can count on me to be straightforward and earnest in my dealings with others. I share the values of the Democratic Party as declared in the preamble to the 2016 party platform. Quote, Democrats believe that cooperation is better than conflict, unity is better than division, empowerment is better than resentment, and bridges are better than walls. It's a simple but powerful idea. We are stronger together. Unquote. The beauty of that platform is that it's the result of a collaborative effort between old Democrats and new Democrats working together in solidarity. I know that successful organizing starts with shared values and mission. Strategy and tactics are tools, but they don't create results on their own. Without solidarity, we all lose. So I stand here today with the desire to bring disparate factions together to do our part, not only for the sake of our party, but for the sake of our future, our climate, and the world our children will inherit. I believe each of us here share common values: support for climate change action, human dignity and living wages, universal health care as a human right, environmental justice and social justice. I want us to work together toward those ends. I know what it's like to walk shoulder to shoulder with my colleagues and friends for a powerful cause, and that's what I want to do with you. I envision our local party engaged in collaborative and meaningful work, conducted with integrity, inclusiveness, respect, and joy. In fact, that's the only way I will agree to do this work, arm in arm, in pursuit of a shared vision. If I'm elected chair, that's what I intend to do, and I invite you to join me. Thank you.
Now we're going to ask Rosemary and Donna to please leave the room.
By the way, I think the other audience is still on. And there's 2 folding chairs
Okay, so the person that went first gets the first speaker. So Rosemary went first. So the first speaker that Rosemary has chosen is Cody King. So it's Cody King, please come up. Just a reminder for all speakers, you have 2 minutes maximum. Yeah. Hold on, put it over.
Hi, my name is Cody King. I work under Donna in our Teachers Association. I'm the vice president. I also teach at the same school as her, and I'm honored to call her a friend and a mentor. position is I'm also on the South County Advisory Council, a position that I found is also vacant based on research that Rosemary Canfield did. And that's one of the reasons that I'm going to support Rosemary Canfield for the chair position. Okay, so besides the personal connection and the local stuff, another reason I'm supporting Rosemary is because I feel like the Democratic Party is in decline. Looking around the country, looking at governorships, looking at states and the state legislators, Democrats are behind 2-1 to the worst Republican Party that I've ever seen. And talking to people who've been involved a lot longer than me, it is the worst party that they've seen as well. So I want to support Rosemary because based on her grassroots organizing and the research that she's done and the candidate toolkit that she has compiled, I feel like she has started the outreach that we need to take back these local positions and grow the Democratic.
Yeah, that I wear many, many hats. One of which is working on campaigns. We're 322 days away from the 2018 primary election in June. 422 days away from the general election, and as it stands right now, we don't have a cohesive plan. It's very frightening, having worked on campaigns before, and I feel like Rosemary has really set out a path, or at least a framework for us to start having a really good conversation about how we can move forward and make sure that all of our global seats are filled. We've done a really, really good job of keeping hold of the top seats here for a very long time, and that's a new part too of the Central Committee, and I thank everybody who volunteered in the past for that. But just in the 2018 or 2015 elections, where I met Rosemary, and she was among a group of 30+ college students making phone calls every single night to help get our representative elected, and she came back and get scared from all of the college students that were there. But there's so much more that we can be doing at the local level and creating a bench. And I feel like the framework that Rosemary has set out is going to be conducive to all of our future elections, beginning with the one we have in 321 days. So thanks so much, and I hope you'll stand, despite what happens in tonight's election, we can all work together to work forward to 2018.
Okay, the next speaker for Donna is Joe Gibson.
Thank you. I have a statement here to be read by Mike Heil. Closer. Mike Heil has asked me to read a statement on his behalf. He is an alternate for District 3. I've known Donna Candell for more than 25 years. She's a good friend, and I'm proud of her as a shining example of what's best about being a Democrat. Donna has broken the glass ceiling by being the first member of her immigrant family to attend college. She is also a mom and raised 2 progressive activist daughters. Anya works for a nonprofit, but is also involved in Occupy New York. Zoe works for Planned Parenthood, fighting for productive health care for all. Donna's husband, Bert, is a local community activist supporting Dana Adobe, Prisoner Preserve, and Land Conservative. Donna has walked precincts, marched for progressive causes, and helped fundraising. She's a strong supporter of former Supervisor Karen Ray, Congresswoman Lois Capps, and Bo Monty. She's a staunch supporter of working people and public education. Donna has been a math teacher for 15 years and is president of the Lucia Harder Teachers Association. Being the president of the Teachers Union has many challenges. Several years ago, she stood up daily to the constant bullying of an anti-worker superintendent by calling for a district-wide strike. She helped galvanize educators, parents, community members, and local labor unions to reject his policies of division and disinformation and one. The superintendent backed down, resigned, and left town. Donna was recently re-elected by her union membership by an astonishing 94%. One of Donna's greatest attributes is that she has leadership skills and respects a variety of opinions, works to achieve common ground and inclusion, and will stand up for our party. I recently saw her verbally attack at a public forum that she applied in a professional and civil manner. She brings the attitude, experience, and temperament this committee needs as chair. Donna Kendall is the best choice to represent the San Luis Obispo County Democratic Party. Consolidated Michael.
Okay, so the next speaker for Rosemary is Bruce Gibson. Thank you, Mr. Andre. We're here tonight to elect a leader that's going to take us down a challenging road. The qualities I look for in such an individual are three: vision, leadership, and service. Rosemary has the vision of a united San Luis Obispo County Democratic Party working together to start at the local level and get Democrats elected to office. She has the leadership skills. I've seen her interact with a wide variety of folks, respectfully and with a clear sense that she can inspire people to their very best. Leadership is a persuasive art that requires the reconciling of differing viewpoints. And as I look at Rosemary, I see in her calm, school teacherly demeanor the very skills to do that. And finally, service is simply doing the hard work, the nuts and bolts, the day-to-day, the phone calls, the emails, the letters. I have seen Donna come to meetings unfailingly prepared with ideas that make sense, flexible in her approach. If you don't want to run for office, you can support somebody who runs for office, or you can contribute to someone who runs for office, or you can do a whole lot of things. Knocking on doors is not your key desire. Make a phone call. So in Rosemary, I see the complete package. I see the person that can bring us past the divisions of the past and to lead us on a solid road to success. Okay, and the next speaker for Donna is going to be Mary Strobridge.
Thank you. Donna Kendall is one of the most inspiring people I have ever met. She has the demeanor of one who exudes calm and peace. But don't let that fool you. Donna is a warrior. She is strong in her belief of peace, unity, compassion, and fairness. But when she sees the vision and fairness, the need to advocate strongly and without fear, she rises to the challenge and inspires others to do so. I've known Donna for many years now. She's the math teacher in the CMR School District. She's also the president of her local Teachers Association. Many of you may recognize her as the leader who fought the district and won. She brought the community and teachers together to work for a common good, and that's where her strength lies. Donna is an elected member of the State Council of Education, the policymaking body of the California Teachers Association. Her voice is heard and respected. She is organized, intelligent, extremely well-spoken, and yet has a calmness about her that belies her strength. As we move into another election cycle, we need her calm strength to guide the Central Committee to be involved in the election process and work with the community of Democrats in San Luis Obispo County. Please vote for Donna Kendall for San Luis Obispo County Democratic Party Chair. Thank you.
John Scholes. Jeff Lee or Clint Wire. Carlin Christensen. No, okay. So as of right now, we're going to vote. So please fill out your ballot, underline your name or circle your name, check the candidate that you want, and sign your ballot, please. Everyone sign their ballot. Great.
just like to share that, even though I'm in this club, I am definitely not in politics. I've been doing this since I was 16 years old, although I do good work in other places. And I would just like to say that has been for me a very stressful experience. Because I began Democrat some years ago to fight a program. And I have found in this time that I have been involved in this particular organization, and that there's been more fighting between Democrats than I've ever seen Democrats fight Republicans. And so I was drawn to neither candidate on the experience of knowing them, because I have new, I have Rosemary and Donna. And I think they're both great women, and I think they both have at their heart what they believe is best. But it's my own personal conviction that Donna, with her vast experience in labor organization, her vast experience working on the state and the national level, is the person most suited to lead this group forward. Having said that, I've heard these crazy remarks that Donna thinks there's going to be a revolution and a certain group is not going to follow her. And I really hope that's wrong. I really hope I've heard incorrectly, because I think we all really need to understand that what's important is the other side. Thank you.
Speaker for Rosemary is going to be Rachel Gans.
I feel like I should have worn red here, because I still have my whole face out bright red. I'm honored to speak for Rosemary. And our country is in trouble because we have Republicans in power. We have a Republican for our state assembly representative. Our county is dominated by right-wing, I don't know whatever the word is. I'd like to put in a forward word. Atascadero, I am president of the Atascadero Democratic Club, and Atascadero has no Democrats on the city council. So it's a little irritating. And I really believe we need to get Democrats elected to office. And then as president, my goal is to get people to run office and to get elected. Rosemary is a candidate to this. And she actually came up to our Atascadero meetings and shared the toolkit with us. And I was really surprised because when I lived down here in San Luis for years, when I moved to Atascadero, I was told I moved to outer Mongolia. So I was really appreciative of her showing up at our meeting and explaining running for office better than I could explain. And she also has held Get Together, where she has explained and shared her positions and plans and ideas. And I really appreciated her coming to our Mongolia and explaining a few things. Thank you. Is that it? Thank you. Okay.
Okay, so the person that went first gets the first speaker. So Rosemary went first. So the first speaker that Rosemary has chosen is Cody King. So can Cody King please come up? Just a reminder for all speakers, you have 2 minutes maximum. Yeah. Hold on, put it over.
Hi, my name is Cody King. I work under Donna in our Teachers Association. I'm the Vice President. I also teach at the same school with her, and I'm honored to call her a friend and a mentor. on the South County Advisory Council, a position that I found and thought was vacant based on some research that Rosemary Canfield did. And that's one of the reasons I'm going to support Rosemary Canfield for the chair position. Okay, so besides the personal connection and the local stuff, another reason I'm supporting Rosemary is because I feel like the Democratic Party is in decline. Looking around the country, looking at governorships, looking at state and the state legislators, Democrats are behind 2-1 to the worst Republican Party that I've ever seen. And talking to people who've been involved for a lot longer than me, is the worst party that they've seen as well. So I want to support Rosemary because based on her grassroots organizing and the research that she's done and the candidate toolkit that she's compiled, I feel like she has started the outreach that we need to take back these local positions and grow the Democratic.
Yeah, I wear many hats. One of which is working on campaigns. We're 322 days away from the 2018 primary election in June, 422 days away from the general election, and as it stands right now, we don't have a cohesive plan. It's very frightening having worked on campaigns before, and I feel like Rosemary has really set out a path, or at least a framework for us to start having a really good conversation about how we can move forward and make sure that all of our global seats are filled. We've done a really good job of keeping hold of the top seats here for a very long time, and that's a new part to the Central Committee, and I thank everybody who's volunteered in the past for that. But just in the 2018 or 2015 elections, where I met Rosemary, and she was among a group of 30+ college students making phone calls every single night to help get our representative elected. And she came back and get scared from all of the college students that were there. But there's so much more that we can be doing at the local level in creating a bench. And I feel like the framework that Rosemary has set out is going to be conducive to all of our future elections, beginning with the one we have in 321 days. So, thanks so much, and I hope you'll stand, despite what happens in tonight's election, we can all work together to work forward to 2018.
Okay, the next speaker for Donna is Joe Gibson.
Thank you. I have a statement here to be read by Mike Heil. Closer. Mike Heil has asked me to read a statement on his behalf. He is an alternate for District 3. I've known Donna Candell for more than 25 years. She's a good friend, and I'm proud of her as a shining example of what's best about being a Democrat. Donna has broken the glass ceiling by being the first member of her immigrant family to attend college. She is also a mom and raised 2 progressive activist daughters. Anya works for a nonprofit but was also involved in Occupy New York. Zoe works for Planned Parenthood, fighting for productive health care for all. Donna's husband Bert is a local community activist supporting Dana Adobe, Prisma Preserve, and Land Conservative. Donna has walked 3-6, marched for progressive causes, and helped fundraising. She's a strong supporter of former Supervisor Karen Ray, Congresswoman Lois Capps, and Bo Monty. She's a staunch supporter of working people and public education. Donna has been a math teacher for 15 years and is president of the Lucia Carter Teachers Association. Being the president of Teachers Union has many challenges. Several years ago, she stood up daily to the constant bullying of an anti-worker superintendent by calling for a district-wide strike. She helped galvanize educators, parents, community members, and local labor unions to reject his policies of division and disinformation and won. The superintendent backed down, resigned, and left town. Donna was recently re-elected by her union membership by an astonishing 94%. One of Donna's greatest attributes is that she has leadership skills and respects a variety of opinions, works to achieve common ground and inclusion, and will stand up for our party. I recently saw her verbally attacked at a public forum and she replied in a professional and civil manner. She brings the attitude, experience, and temperament this committee needs as chair. Donna Kendall is the best choice to represent the San Luis Obispo County Democratic Party. Consolidated Mike.
Okay, so the next speaker for Rosemary is Bruce Gibson. Thank you, Mr. Andre. We're here tonight to elect a leader that's going to take us down a challenging road. The qualities I look for in such an individual are three: vision, leadership, and service. Rosemary has the vision of a united San Luis Obispo County Democratic Party working together to start at the local level and get Democrats elected to office. She has the leadership skills. I've seen her interact with a wide variety of folks, respectfully and with a clear sense that she can inspire people to their very best. Leadership is a persuasive art that requires the reconciling of differing viewpoints. And as I look at Rosemary, I see in her calm, school teacherly demeanor the very skills to do that. And finally, service is simply doing the hard work, the nuts and bolts, the day-to-day, the phone calls, the emails, the letters. I have seen Donna come to meetings unfailingly prepared with ideas that make sense, flexible in her approach. If you don't want to run for office, you can support somebody who runs for office, or you can contribute to someone who runs for office, or you can do a whole lot of things. Knocking on doors is not your key desire. Make a phone call. So in Rosemary, I see the complete package. I see the person that can bring us past the divisions of the past and to lead us on a solid road to success.
Okay, and the next speaker for Donna is going to be Mary Strobridge.
Thank you. Donna Kendall is one of the most inspiring people I have ever met. She has the demeanor of one who exudes calm and peace. But don't let that fool you. Donna is a warrior. She is strong in her beliefs of peace, unity, compassion, and fairness. But when she sees the vision of fairness, the need to advocate strongly and without fear, she rises to the challenge and inspires others to do so. I've known Donna for many years now. She's the math teacher in the CMR School District. She's also the president of her local teachers association. Many of you may recognize her as the leader who fought the district and won. She brought the community and teachers together to work for a common good, and that's where her strength lies. Donna is an elected member of the State Council of Education, the policymaking body of the California Teachers Association. Her voice is heard and respected. She is organized, intelligent, extremely well-spoken, and yet has a calmness about her that belies her strength. As we move into another election cycle, we need her calm strength to guide the Central Committee to be involved in the election process and work for the community of Democrats in San Luis Obispo County. Please vote for Donna Kendall for San Luis Obispo County Democratic Party Chair. Thank you.
John Scholes. Jeff Lee or Clint Wire. Carlin Christensen. No. Okay. So as of right now, we're going to vote. So please fill out your ballot, underline your name or circle your name, check the candidate that you want, and sign your ballot, please. Everyone sign their ballot. Great. Turn in their ballot. This is the absolute last call. Okay. There's no one in the bathroom. No one saw anyone go to the bathroom or anything. Okay. Rosemary, she cast her ballot. Okay. So Susan's going to open the ballot, and she's going to announce the name, right? We're going to announce the name, and and then Allison's going to record them, and then Richard is supposed to look and watch to make sure she's following her.
Okay, so, oh, I should have lined them up right, but it may take a little long. All right, I gotta look at the, oh. The voter is Donna Candell, and the vote is for Donna Candell. Rosemary Canfield is the voter, Rosemary Canfield is the voter. Marianne Shaw's alternate is Karen Campbell Wright, and the vote is for Rosemary Canfield, sorry. The voter is Richard Zamora. The vote is for Donna Candell. The voter is for Eric Michelson, and its alternate Minky Winkler Prince. The vote is for Donna Candell. The voter is Alona Shakipnia. The vote is for Rosemary Canfield. The voter is for Andy Pease, her alternate Eric Liam, Rosemary Canfield. Voter Nick Andre for Rosemary Canfield. Voter Violet Kavanaugh for Rosemary Canfield. Voter Julie Zaparatos for Rosemary Canfield. Voter Brian Ivy for Rosemary Canfield. Voter Michael Costello's alternate, Susan Robinson, for Rosemary Canfield. Voter Aaron Gomez for Rosemary Canfield. Voter Gail Billick, her alternate is Janice Mundy for Donna Candell. Voter Cheryl Storton for Rosemary Canfield. Voter Pat Harris, her alternate is Deborah Stakes, and the vote is for Donna Candell. The voter is Bruce Gibson, and the vote is for Rosemary Canfield. The voter is Eric Howell, and the vote is for Donna Candell. The voter is Sandra Nielsen, and the vote is for Donna Candell. The voter is Dave Humphreys, and the vote is for Donna Candell. The voter is Lori Caudill, and the vote is for Donna Candell. The voter is Laura Storm, alternate James Conway. The vote is for Donna Candell. The voter is Don Ortiz-Legg. The vote is for Donna Candell. The voter is Mackenzie Kroon. The vote is for Rosemary Canfield. The voter is David Moran, alternate Christine Shea. The vote is for Donna Candell. The voter is Susan Devine. The vote is for Donna Candell. The voter is Cheryl Conway. The vote is for Donna Candell. The voter is Rico Holden, and the vote is for Rosemary Canfield. The voter is Mary Strobridge, and the vote is for Donna Candell. The voter is Marlis McPherson. The alternate is Walter Heath. The vote is for Rosemary Canfield. The voter is Giacomo Longato. The vote is for Rosemary Canfield. The voter is Sebastian Amarani. The alternate is Annie Campbell. The vote is for Rosemary Canfield. The voter is Erica Reyes. The vote is for Rosemary Canfield. Underline her name. The voter is Heidi Harmon. The vote is for Rosemary Canfield. The voter is Quinn Brady. The vote is for Rosemary Canfield. The voter is Sydney Raphael. The alternate, Linda Baker, is the voter for Rosemary Canfield. The voter is Allison Groves. The vote is for Rosemary Canfield. The voter is Dawn Addis. The vote is for Donna Candell. The voter is Tom Foltz. The vote is for Rosemary Canfield. The voter is Ryan Osborne. The vote is for Rosemary Canfield. The voter is Steve Lackey. The vote is for Rosemary Canfield. Underline it, please. The voter is Joe Gibson. The vote is for Donna Candell. The voter is Mark Simonin. The vote is for Donna Candell. The voter is Dan Renoir. The vote is for Rosemary Canfield. The voter is Don Stewart. The alternate is Joe St. Clair. The vote is for Donna Candell. The voter is Michelle Shoresman. The vote is for Donna Candell. The voter is Sherry Stoddard. Alternate Linda Pax. The vote is for Rosemary Canfield. The voter is Corey Black. The alternate Tim Strobridge for Donna Candell. The voter is Barbara Weishart. The vote is for Donna Candell. The voter is Sandra Mathias. The vote is for Donna Candell. The voter is Adam Hill. The vote is for Rosemary Canfield. The voter is Eric Baskin. The alternate, Charles Varney, votes for Rosemary Canfield. The voter is David Baldwin. Alternate, Larry Murray, votes for Donna Candell. The voter is Cody King. The vote is for Rosemary Canfield. The voter is Tara Graves. The vote is for Rosemary Canfield. The voter is Raybell Gams. The vote is for Rosemary Canfield. The voter is Dave Akey. The vote is for Rosemary Canfield. That's all my goldenrod papers, so.
Does anyone, you want to count the ballots real quick? Just make sure the numbers are all.
Rosemary, come on up.
Who's representing her? We're just trying to make sure we're totally accurate, guys.
Okay, the results of the election are 33 Rosemary, 24 Donna. Rosemary has been elected chair.
we're going to have a discussion. This is not a vote tonight on the San Luis Obispo County Democratic Party Central Committee E-Board election. You don't need to do it. So we're just going to have a discussion on this. You want to read it?
Yeah, I just want to get context. So the reason this was on the agenda is because it was tabled at the last meeting to this meeting. I do want to provide some facts that were found out during the interim period. Is that the state party has said that our local bylaws override the state bylaws, and therefore our election for E-Board was done in the proper manner, and therefore, in my opinion, there's really nothing else to be done here. But so correct. So if there's any discussion on that, we'll entertain it. If not, we'll move on. No? Okay. Moving on. Okay, the next item is a regional director issue. Same situation. This was an item that was tabled at the last meeting, and it was decided to be tabled to this meeting to get more information. The information that was obtained is that it is up to the chair to interpret the bylaws. David Atkins, our regional director, was claimed that he believes he is a rightful member of this committee. However, several of the executive board members disagreed. It was determined that the chair makes the determination or the interpretation of the bylaws. At the time, Don Stewart was the chair and interpreted that David does not have standing to become a member of this committee. So that's how it stood there. If the new chair wishes to make a different interpretation, that's up to them. But as of now, it was really conveyed to us that this would probably require a bylaw amendment, none of which has been presented thus far. So if there is any discussion on that item, we will entertain it. No? Okay, so moving on. So now we're at 13, new business, and
again, this is a discussion item, it's not a voting item, but there's been some talk about the meeting night of this organization, after this one. Thank you. No, thank you. Is there anybody that wants to talk on this item? It'll be the same rule. I think we'll do, you want to do pro con 2 minutes? Or do we just discuss it? Richard Zamora, would you like the microphone?
No. This is tradition versus any other fact. We had meetings on Wednesday for a very long time. With the last chair, we accommodated a change because of the schedule. I have no idea what the schedule will be, but Wednesday was in the middle of the week. It was an easier time to get some action done early and some action done later. So I put forward this request that we change it back to having it on a specific Wednesday, which was decided by the executive board, but actual Wednesday, as opposed to having it at the very beginning.
You know, my lesson on this is, well, first of all, I'm trying to get it. Seems like we don't really have a problem getting around on this Monday night. But my comment is I think that we should do a survey, put one together, and send it out, because everybody has a conflict somehow. So if we put together that, and it comes back to the E-Board, we can put together the top, least conflicted nights. And I just think that we can go around with this and everybody can have a comment tonight, but we don't have any facts to go with this. So I think a survey, and we can put that together.
Rosemary, then Dave, Allison. Well, actually, Allison first, then Dave.
I had suggested we talk about this just because I've noticed that we've had city council members who haven't been able to attend. So I think putting out the survey is a great idea, but I think it'd be great if we could avoid city council meetings since they should be here, if we can get them here.
No, wait, that's fine.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
I would just like to ask if we take a survey that would include the week of the month also. We did have it on the second week on Wednesday, and frankly, through the number of meetings I have on your third week, that's pretty tough things.
I'm just going to echo what Cheryl said. I totally agree with Rosemary and Dave as well. In the past, we've always historically met on Wednesday, and that's wonderful that we did that, but it was kind of unilaterally changed this last time, so I would suggest we go with what Cheryl said, do a survey, figure out which day is the least conflicted, and then we just take a vote on it as a body. And if we all want to do Wednesday, great. If we all want to do Monday, that's fine. I mean, I prefer Wednesday, but it really should be a vote, a democratic vote of the body, of the people, after we figure out who has the fewest conflicts, I guess.
Okay, so it sounds like there's kind of consensus, sort of, to make a survey. Cheryl and I will work on it and then send it out, and we'll go from there. Are there any objections? Okay, awesome.
Okay, you got one more ballot. B17 is a blue ballot. Who has the information about B17? Jim? Jim, let me give you the mic.
I apologize, but I'm going to have to sit down for this one after the last one where my legs started shaking. On July 9th, Sunday, July 9th, the endorsements committee had a meeting where we interviewed one person who was pro B17 and one person who was anti. The pro person was Stu Jenkins. The anti person was Dan Marks. He was interviewed telephonically, whereas Stu showed up in person. Let me have my tablet there, please. Unfortunately, we only had 3 members show up at that meeting, so therefore we're not making an endorsements committee recommendation. What I do want to present to you is the information that were provided, not only the pro and the con side, but also the city attorney's impartial view of what was going on in B17. Even though you may not live in San Luis Obispo, the city of, okay, this is a really important issue. And you should tell your friends who do live in San Luis Obispo to be aware of this. And I think we're going to have to, if we're going to have any effect on this election, you may need to suspend the rules or whatever needs to be done to take a vote tonight, because the ballots go out, and it's a mail ballot only election. The ballots go out on July 22nd. I don't know when they're due, maybe Aaron knows when they're due back, I'm not sure. Somebody may know that, in any case. Do you know?
That's like August 28th.
August 28th, yes, okay. In any case, the B17 deals with, well, the title of it, which we all know the titles can be somewhat misleading, is the Non-Discrimination in Housing Ordinance, okay? That is the title. What does B17 do? Okay? First of all, the rental housing inspection of the San Luis Obispo Municipal Code is repealed. But that was already done unanimously by the City Council and by Mayor Harmon. So that's already happened. The explanation of why it's still coming out on the ballot is that it was already submitted, the signatures were already gathered, and all this, and you cannot change the proposition that's being voted on the ballot issue once that has happened. Okay, so that's why it's still on the ballot. Well, there's some other reasons too. First of all, the
One thing that is done by this is that it adds new categories to who can be discriminated against or for, okay? Given that the state and federal laws override anything that the city would do anyway, which would include religion, gender, race, all of the whole list of protected categories that can't be discriminated against, it adds the following categories. Income, ability or inability to own a home, okay? There is no inspection of a dwelling based upon status as an owner or a renter of such dwelling. So income, ability or inability to own a home, or whether you're a renter or an owner of a property. These now become categories you cannot discriminate against or for. Okay, with this also, it also would not allow the city council or the city of San Luis Obispo to put together another housing inspection ordinance unless there was a vote of the people. So you'd have to have the voters' approval of anything that was done for them. Okay. I'm going to get into some explanation when we get to the arguments against about why those new categories we added is not a good thing. First of all, the arguments in favor. The current inspection program violates right of privacy. Well, it's been done away with. Okay, second, inspection program was unconstitutional. Violates the First, Fourth, and Fifth Amendments of the Constitution, according to the people who are in favor. Okay, the arguments against. Housing inspection program has already been rejected. I've already mentioned that. Okay, from the standpoint of that, unrecognized and legally unclear categories have been added. Renter, homeowner, ability to own a home or not. Why is that important? Because lawsuits could be filed then if there was any program that benefited specifically homeless people, specifically low-income people, specifically those people who are under rent stabilization issues in trailer parks. You can file suit because the renter is being benefited and the owner is being discriminated against. So those are the basic things. The rent stabilization program would also be a problem there. Also, there could be lawsuits filed against the city if, by voting for this ordinance, you admit then that the prior housing rental ordinance was unconstitutional. You can file a suit against the city because of that idea of being unconstitutional. Okay, who are the people in support of this? Homeowners and some renters, and some interestingly named groups. The people against it are Mayor Harmon and the entire city council, San Luis Obispo, and every low-income and housing for the homeless advocacy group. All of them are opposed to the passage of this particular ballot issue. Who's in favor? Well, I just vote in favor. I'm sorry. This may sound a little biased. I can't make a recommendation on behalf of the committee. You can tell personally how I feel. Okay. So I would suggest that because this thing is a time-certain kind of issue, July 22nd, the ballots are going out by mail, that maybe you might want to do something this evening about it. Thank you.
Quinn and Rico. So Quinn and Rico.
So this ballot measure sounds intriguing, I think, to all of us. Affordable housing always sounds like a good thing, but this particular measure was not written by an attorney who knows anything about housing laws. And so while some of the language is confusing and it sounds really good, it's actually going to be working against affordable housing in our area. And so we all need to really take a closer look before we hear some of the lingo here and think that it's saying what we hope it's saying. Former Mayor Jan Marks is against this. City council members are against it. The Chamber of Commerce has come out and said that they're against this measure. And it's actually already been overturned. So we're not accomplishing anything new. And I would highly suggest that we do not support this measure.
I'm also opposed to this personally, but I wanted to pass along a message to Sebastian Chaparroni, who's currently and is new president of the California Dems, and also the regional director of California College Democrats. He called me and he started talking to me about this. The biggest problem with this is going to be disproportionately problematic for students, because students are naturally renters in San Luis Obispo, and they make up an overwhelmingly large portion of the renters here in San Luis Obispo. And so he's urged me to urge all of you to oppose any endorsement of this measure. Thank you.
Okay, are there any other comments that would like to be made? No, okay.
Blue ballot. Please circle or underline the person who is voting. Yes.
Did we not need to have a special, we can go ahead and vote, we don't have to pass the bylaws tonight?
No, there's no, this is a city election.
But I thought somebody did something that we need, well, you know the rules, if you say.
Okay. So here's the deal, because sometimes endorsements on measures get confusing for people. There are three possible ways you can vote. You can vote, I vote to endorse Measure B17, which means you're saying yes. You want people to vote yes. I vote to oppose, which means you want people to vote no. Or you can vote to remain neutral, or no endorsement. It does take 60% of the votes for any endorsement to pass.
Any other questions? Okay. Mark your ballots. And just, you know what, you don't even have to fold them in half if you haven't already. I think this is going to be pretty easy. Okay. I feel really good. You can move a little faster though. We're going to get through this one. Blue ballots, everybody.
Any other ballots?
Hold on.
Donna, I really think you were great. I think Thank you, and I also think yeah, so, you know, it's we'll get to talk about it. Sorry.
Okay, the first person we're going to ask to come up, we are going to do our club reports just like we normally do, but our new chair, Rosemary Canfield, would like to speak to the body.
Thank you guys all for coming out and putting this much effort into tonight. I know it was not comfortable in here. And I know we've had a lot of feelings going on out there, and I really believe we have got the most brilliant minds in the county as part of this organization, and I'm really looking forward to getting us in the same room, on the same page, and working towards getting them elected, because that's what we're all about. Donna and I actually had the best space in the whole place while we were out there. we had a really nice time getting to know each other a little better, and I hope that we can create more opportunities for that. And I really have a lot of respect people who've done the work to build this committee up and to keep the Democratic Party alive and active and vibrant in our community. And so I'm really hoping that we can all put our efforts together, and if we do, the collab has no shot here. You guys, we can do this.
Okay, we're gonna go through the clubs, I think, next, but if anyone is leaving, and I know that some have already, I would ask each of you to take at least one chair, and maybe 2 chairs next door. We're gonna have to clear this room completely. It was very nice of Rossi Enterprises to allow us accessing it. We wanna be able to leave it in as good or better condition than when we found it. So, with that.
Next door,
And, yes, and when we see the new tenant who hasn't moved in yet, but has leased this space, we all want to thank him too, because Cheryl went out of her way to locate him and call him. It was a meeting that day. And also Supervisor Gibson and Supervisor Hill also had to get involved in this matter, and we're very appreciative. Thank you. So again, if you're leaving and you don't want to hear the club reports or the announcements,
take a couple chairs.
there's water in the back room. Have a drink. Yeah.
I'm going to.
Yes.
Mostly water.
Yes. A little mix maybe? A little splash at the end? Okay. Anybody want to have any reports for clubs or not? Really? No. Okay. Anybody else want to have any discussion? Hearing none, meeting is adjourned. Thank you all.